So Daryl Morey said he absolutely would have celebrated the bubble championship as legitimate, knowing the immense effort and resilience required. Argument over. So, yeah, that's it. But then he continued. Um, Yet everyone I speak to around the league privately agrees that it doesn't truly hold up as a genuine championship. Perhaps the lasting legacy of the NBA bubble is that the NBA should be proud of its leadership at both the beginning and the end of the pandemic, even though the champion will forever be marked by an asterisk. It's worth noting that the Lakers gave the Rockets a gentleman's sweep in the second round, so let's not pretend that that has nothing to do with his opinion on it. And first and foremost, being transparent, I will say I'm a lifelong Lakers fan. So at the end of the day, you can say I'm biased, but I am going to give you facts on what really happened in 2020 that people don't really talk about, on why I don't think the 2020 bubble has an asterisk. So let's get into the 2020 pandemic season. The first thing that happened prior to the bubble was Avery Bradley, their best defender, opted out to be with his family. They were missing their starting shooting guard the entire playoffs. So they were at a disadvantage from the very beginning, knowing that they were missing their best perimeter defender they had the entire year. So I talked about this on my X account. The Lakers were the most negatively affected by the bubble, yet criticized. They lost home court advantage and were the only fully healthy contender. They gained nothing. If there's an asterisk on the bubble, there's an asterisk on 10 others. Plain and simple. The best team won. Now, a big reason why people like to say there's an asterisk on it is because it gave time for everyone to get healthy. So that would mean the Lakers had time to get healthy, right? Wrong. The Lakers were fully healthy when the season stopped. So let's get into the actual injuries. People don't like to mention the fact that the Rockets, this team right here, sixth man, Eric Gordon, missed 6 weeks at the time of the shutdown and magically had 4 months to recover. Do you think they would have won the first game if he didn't have that time to recover? Probably not. No one likes to mention the fact James Harden was shooting 49% prior to January 1st, and then it had plummeted the last 2 months to 40% and 31% from three before the shutdown. So he clearly benefited from the 4-month break, needing that rest. No one mentions the fact the Clippers rarely got to practice during the season because of injuries so bad during the COVID layoffs. They were practicing virtually and obviously benefited Kawhi and Paul George more than anyone. How about the fact Giannis very much benefited from the 4 months off, rehabbing, getting his number one Bucks team fully healthy after he just injured his knee. Had the COVID layoffs not happened, they would have nowhere near been the number one seed, because who knows how long Giannis would have been out. They just lost 4 of 5 without him. The number 3 seed Celtics top 5 perimeter players were only available for 14 of their 64 games. I don't think we even need to discuss Robert Williams. That's common knowledge. He benefited from it. He's on record saying that he did. And they got 4 months to get healthy. Convenient? No one mentions the fact that it gave Tyler Hero 4 months off to heal his foot after he had missed a month when the season was suspended. You know, the guy that scored 16 points a game in the playoffs and went to the finals? So this benefited just about everybody else. And I mean, I'm sure that there were more injuries at the time. That's just off the top of my head after having to make this stupid argument over and over and over. And some people benefited from it more than just getting their injured players healthy. The Heat also benefited from it because they had just acquired Andre Iguodala right before the trade deadline. And he had extra practice time to integrate with the Heat, which he wouldn't have had the COVID suspension not happened. Do you think they would have gotten to the finals if they hadn't gotten their second best player fully healthy and hadn't practiced with Andre? I'm pretty sure they would not have. Daryl Morey is right when he said in the article that there were no fans. But guess what? That was a detriment to the Lakers because they would have had home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs because they were the 1 seed, which is another thing nobody ever says or talks about. So realistically, it would have been easier for them to win a championship had they not been in the bubble. They had just beaten the Bucks and the Clippers, their biggest rivals that everyone was saying was going to the finals or was going to win a championship. And they had just won 13 of their last 15 games. If they weren't the best team and they were like a 4 seed, 5 seed, something like that, and they had won, I'd agree. I would say, you know what, I have no argument at all because, you know what, they won and, you know what, they were the 4 seed. This is abnormal. But because they were the best team, there's no argument that you can make that this is a fake championship because not only did they lose home court advantage, but everyone else got the chance to get healthy because of it, and they were already healthy. They didn't have any injured players. So there's no reason, there's nothing, they didn't gain anything from it. And their best perimeter defender, they didn't even have him in the playoffs. And another thing people don't like to talk about is Rajon Rondo. He broke his a wrist or his finger or something right before the playoffs. So he was injured in the playoffs. He had like a broken wrist or a finger. I can't remember what it was. He had like a broken wrist or a finger all through the playoffs. So, and that was during the bubble. So he was injured during the bubble. So if we're going to put an asterisk on the bubble championship, there's about 10 others that we can put an asterisk on for actual legitimate reasons, including last season when Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles in the beginning of Game 7. When he was 3 of 4 from 3, playing out of his mind. And they only lost by 12 points. Put an asterisk on the Raptors beating the KD Warriors in 2019. When the Warriors' entire starting lineup got injured. With the exception of Steph Curry. Like, do you think the Raptors would have beaten the best team in NBA history if the Warriors' entire starting lineup would have gotten injured? That's the one championship you can 100% put an asterisk on if you're going to put an asterisk on any championship in history. Put an asterisk on the 2015 Warriors championship when both Kyrie and Kevin Love were out for the entire finals and the Warriors beat the Cavs. There's like 10 championships you can put an asterisk on. Put an asterisk on Tim Duncan's first championship when they only played 50 games during the lockout season. Did they put an asterisk on that? No. Why? Because it was Tim Duncan's championship. It wasn't the Lakers or LeBron's championship. So there's so many things, there's so many championships you can put asterisk on. They just don't because they're not the Lakers and LeBron's championship. I mean, let's be honest. If the Heat had won, nobody would have cared. Everybody would have said, congratulations, it's a real championship, and that's it. And we wouldn't even be talking about the 2020 championship today. Daryl Morey even admitted that he would have celebrated the championship as if it was legitimate had they won. If he was going to make the argument that the bubble championship was a fake championship, then he shouldn't have said that he would have celebrated it as a real championship if his team won, because now he just sounds like he's mad that he got beat by the Lakers. So he just sounds like a petty GM that lost. So if you're one of those people that believes that the bubble ring was a fake ring, please explain to me in the comments the advantage the Lakers had over other teams when the Lakers had no injuries prior to the shutdown, lost home court advantage and lost their best perimeter defender that they had the entire season, while other teams had the chance to get fully healthy and were gifted the advantage over the Lakers of not getting home court. If you like watching Lakers content, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Thank you for watching.